So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
All glories to, wow, look at you, Purnamasti. Haribo, Mother Radhika. Mahananda. Jai Haribo. Madhavananda. Jai Hare Krishna. Hey, everyone. So I have to use my phone now. I wanted to use my computer, but not working right now.
Mine too.
We can see you. It's working. Something's working.
Yep.
Something's working, huh? So Jai, Vanchakapya Trubhischa, Kripasindu Epacha, Patita Nam Pavanavio, Vashnavio Nama Namaha. Okay, we're going to start kirtan, huh?
Yes, thank you.
All right, Jai.
Yep, we have about 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, let's get going. Holy name. Namah Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pastaya, Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin, Itanamane, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharane, Nirvisesa Sanyavade, Prakastaya Dasatarane, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadada, Sri Vasari Goro Bhakti Vrinda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadada, Sri Vasari Goro Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Pramanande. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Petita Pavana Prabhu, would you mind giving us a short introduction?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for the delay. Thanks to Siddha Hari Prabhu for joining. I appreciate taking time and joining us on the special program that we have this Sunday on the occasion of the solar eclipse tomorrow. Like Kunjari Mataji was explaining, we can't think of anybody else who can explain that better than Siddha Hari Prabhu, who is from Ypsilanti. He's a monk and a data scientist. He has also authored a few books, and he is working full time, and he takes care of the Goloka Eco Village farm in Michigan. So if you are anytime on the way to Michigan, you can stop by there and meet him. And he also does Sankirtan and brings attracts a lot of students into Krishna consciousness, and he has done great service in the expansion of the Krishna conscious movement. That's all. Anything you want to add, Kunjani Mataji, you can add.
No, I don't think so. We're just so happy that he agreed to speak with us today.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear us? Okay. Yeah, you can take over. Thank you so much for joining. We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me? No?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it mute? If the voice is less, I can go to headphones, but I'm not sure. Am I audible enough?
I think it's good enough for me. How about others?
It's okay.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
First of all, thank you for the kind opportunity to speak something about Harikatha. it is my glorious, it is my good fortune that I have friends like yourself, Kunjari Mataji, and wonderful devotees, Srimal Prabhu in Cleveland, that I'm getting this opportunity to participate in Sankirtan with you all, although we are very far away, but we're connected together in glorifying Lord Hari. So thank you for the opportunity to sing the glories of Hari. And thank you, Mother Sri Upanishad, for singing beautiful Kirtan.
Jai Haribo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So I would like to begin by first offering prayers for Mangalacharan. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Ragnathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuve Titana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namine Namacharya Pataya Nita Guru Pataya Gaur Katha Tamadenda Galagam Tarine. So thank you, dear devotees. I really appreciate your love and your kind gesture. We're discussing today about the connection between our understanding of eclipses, our understanding of Rahu, Ketu, and his connection with Srimad Bhagavatam, and his connection with our chanting Hare Krishna. The current age in which we are in is called Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, there is one good benediction. What's the benediction? Kale dosha nide rajan asti eko himadguna kirtana devi krishnasya mukta sangha param vijay. In this Kali Yuga, there are many faults, but there is one great quality. What is that great quality? That simply by chanting Krishna's holy name, one can go back to Vraj, to Lord's holy dham, Vrindavan. So how does eclipse, how does Srimad Bhagavatam, how do they connect and take us further on this journey of having more faith in the holy name, having more faith in Srimad Bhagavatam, and inspiring us to chant and hear more about Krishna? That is the essence, that will be the essence of my presentation today. So without any further ado, I want to begin. First of all, we have to all go back in time. So let's go back in time to sometime 600 million years ago. I'm going to share my screen. We are at a scene in the region of, let me show the slideshow. Okay. We are right now, 1 second. So we have gone 500 years ago, and 500 years, or you could say 600 million years ago, and we are in a place where Sage Durvasa is meeting King Indra. So King Indra resides in, or demigod Indra is the head of all the demigods, and he resides where? What's his name of his realm? Say again?
Indralok.
Indralok, yeah. What else? There's one more name for it. Where does Indra reside? Yeah, Swargalok. Very good. So he resides in Swargalok, Indralok, one and the same, but multiple names. So he resides there, and Indra somehow or other has this problem. What's his biggest problem? His biggest problem is that he has some pride. And because of that pride, he number of times has issues with devotees, with sages, with even Krishna, what to say of anybody else. So
This meeting is being recorded.
So once it so happened that Durvasa Muni was visiting King Indra. And Durvasa Muni, saw here, King Indra is here, and he gave a garland to Indra. And as you know, as a great sage, sometimes they're very merciful and they give us their benedictions freely. It is not that we have done something to receive the mercy of great sages. It's not that if you work very hard, then you get mercy of sage. No. Whatever sages give is always causeless. Like we always hear in Krishna consciousness, we get causeless mercy. Why is it called causeless? If it's really causeless, why are we being asked to chant Hare Krishna? The reason it's called causeless is that because the amount of effort we put in getting any kind of mercy from sadhu or the holy name, the effort is insignificant compared to what we get. Isn't it? What we receive back from Krishna and sadhus is huge. So one time Durvasa Muni was in a good mood and he gave him a garland to Indra, but Indra was in a mood of pride. So he just said, hey, I don't really want it. So he put it on the head of Eravat. And Eravat, being an animal, he took the garland from his head and put it on his trunk. And as you can see right here. And a moment later, he threw it with his trunk and also trampled it. Seeing this, Durvasa Muni got very angry. And he said, oh Indra, I curse you. Very soon, you will fall down. So Prabhupada writes, and we will go to this purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, describing this incident from Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll share. In 8.15 to 16, this incident, Srila Prabhupada describes this. Shukadeva Goswami describes this. Shukadeva Goswami says, Yada yuddhe shurai deva padyamana sita yudhai kata shavo nipatita nothi setren sama bhurisha yada durvasa shapena shrendra lokastrayo nipa nihishrikas chabhavam satra neshur ijyadya kriya. Shukadeva Goswami said, when the Asuras with their serpent weapons severely attacked the demigods in a fight, many of the demigods fell and lost their lives. Indeed, they could not be revived. At that time, O king, the demigods had been cursed by Durvasa Muni. The three worlds were poverty stricken, and therefore ritualistic ceremonies could not be performed. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, to be extremely opulent in materialistic advancement is sometimes very risky. The materially opulent person does not care about anyone, and thus he commits offenses to great personalities such as devotees and great saints. This is the way of material opulence. As described by Sri Guru Goswami, too much wealth makes one blind. This happens even to Indra and his heavenly kingdom, what to speak of others in the material world. When one is materially opulent, he should learn to be sober and well behaved towards Vaishnavas and saintly persons. Otherwise, he will fall down. So here's a warning, for us before we even go further into the story, that if we happen to have any kind of ability in extreme, what are the different examples? Janma Shwarya Shuta Shribir Ede Mana Madhapuman Naviharti Abudhatam Vai Tvam Akinchana Gochram. Queen Kunti says to Krishna that if somebody has great opulence in these four departments, what are the four departments? If one is born in a nice place, Aishwarya, one is a lot of wealth, Shruta, one is very learned, Shribir has beauty or like beautiful wife or beautiful features. If any of these things, then one becomes more and more mad. Already we are mad being born in the material world. But when we have any of these things in extreme, we become mad. So, and such a person who becomes mad, he has difficulty in calling out to Krishna from the heart. When we are all chanting, do we face difficulty in chanting from our heart? Isn't it? Every time we were just chanting with our lips. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hardly there is calling out from the heart, isn't it? Why? Because there's layers and layers and layers of pride. Why did Mahaprabhu say that we have to chant with this mantra? Trinadapi sunichena troripis sahishuna amanina manidena kirtanya sadahari. So Mahaprabhu says anybody who has these three features, he can chant holy name all the time. What are three features? One who is very humble, one who is very tolerant, and one who gives respect to all others and does not expect anything in return. Such a person is able to chant the holy name of the Lord properly. So being humbler than blade of grass is an important criteria, is an important requirement for chanting from the heart. But we struggle with it. We struggle with it a lot. So that is why Indra, he got this this punishment. And it's not the first time. In the past also it has happened with Indra that he has made this mistake of being prideful. What is another incident of him being proud? Can anybody remind me?
Govardhan Leela.
Yeah, Govardhan Leela. So Indra, I'm not sure if you know, but Indra has thousands of eyes all over his body. He had made a mistake in the past and he got 1,000 eyes because of that. So he can see, has 1,000 eyes, but still he can't recognize Krishna. Why? Because of pride. He was blinded. So the understanding is that the moment you are proud, you lose your vision. You can't see Krishna. You can't see devotees. All you see is pride. Whereas humility grants perception of reality. In the Bhagavatam, it is said that the earth appears spinning due to one's spinning his own eyes around. That means pride is kind of like a lust. Chanakya Pandit also says that a lusty person gives inappropriate punishment to subordinates. So Indra, in that pastime of Govardhan, what he did, he overreacted, and he wanted to punish the Vrajvasis. So there's an incident, there's like a common story which we hear that one time there was a king, and the king asked minister, "Hey minister, what does God really do?" So then this minister said, "Okay, I don't know. I don't have an answer." So the minister asked priest. Priest said, "We don't know what God really does." So the priest asked a shepherd. Shepherd said, I know what God does. I can tell you." So the shepherd was brought in front of the king. King asked the shepherd, "Okay, so what does God do?" He said, You're asking me a question, and I'm supposed to act as a teacher. So first thing is first, you come down, let me sit on your chair, and then we can talk." So then that shepherd sit on the shepherd is like bakri chilane wala, like somebody who works the goats. He went and sat on the seat, and then he said, "This is the job of God." What is that? He puts the proud people down and humble people up. So he was saying that's what God does. Now Krishna wanted to show Indra again in this pastime of churning of the ocean that he is being too proud. And and that is why all these demigods, they had to suffer. So what happens next? Okay, before we even go in this direction, what's the lesson we can draw? The lesson we can draw from here is that if we ever have pride in our life, then we will have difficulty in chanting the holy names. If we adopt this attitude of humility and grow deep, look for opportunities to grow deeper in humility, then we'll be able to chant the holy name properly. You won't have the problem which Indra had. So now that we know that we should get out of this problem of pride, how do we uncover it? How do we get out of it? So a humble person, he always accepts his limitation. He's always looking for guidance. He's always looking for opportunity to refine and enhance one's character, one's lifestyle. He understands that he has that he's not the best version of himself yet. He can improve a lot. He's looking for learning. He's looking for growth. Now, if I were to ask you for a minute to think and share something, like that, what do you think are changes you could make in your life that you could become better in this department of humility? What do you think are roadblocks which are stopping you for to being really humble in your life? Can you think of something? We can take a couple of responses.
This is Haripad Das Prabhu, farmer from Cleveland. I would like to be a better cook so I can get invited to cook prasadam. So,
Okay. No, I'm asking you a different question. I know you want to become a better cook, but I'm asking you, what do you think is stopping you or is limiting you in becoming more humble, in becoming more eager to learn from your teachers or looking for guidance? What do you think is stopping you?
it's lack of surrender to Prabhupada's instructions. He said, I think you should stop working when you're 60 or something. I think he said 25, 25, 25 is what I remember. So I'm past 50, so I should have stopped working many years ago, I guess.
That's very honest of you that you're sharing. I'm not saying that whether you're right or correct, but that's very honest of you that you're sharing something like that. That's nice. So you don't understand what is stopping
Yeah, I
your.
think you can tell me, isn't that 25, 25, 25? I remember reading that in some purport of some verse or some.
I mean, it's all individual based. That's something
Right.
you have to consult with a mentor, and discuss with him, and then from there you can really come to the instruction whether that applies to you.
Right.
Anybody else? What do you think is stopping you from becoming, becoming humbler? What do
I
you
would
think?
say my ego is always stopping me from surrendering and being kind and, doing things that I know I should be doing. The ego is so powerful. I just wish I could control that a little more.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest and sharing that too. I appreciate it. Anybody else?
Maybe I can have more devotees.
More what?
Devotees association.
Okay, so you're saying for you, the reason you're not becoming so humble again because you don't have much association of devotees in your life. That is why you're not so humble.
Yeah, I've been lacking devotee association for
Yeah.
a while.
So you feel like the roadblock for your growth in humility is that somehow or other you're not seeking much association of devotees, you're not able to associate with them a lot. That is blocking your growth in the department of humility. So like that, we all understand, we can think for a minute afterwards too, that what is that which is stopping us from becoming humble? What is that which is giving us this Indra's disease? Because we don't want to, whenever we hear a story, we don't want to, why the stories are given in Bhagavatam, so that we don't make the same mistake. So we don't want to make the mistake which Indra made, which is he was very arrogant and he offended Durvasa Muni. And because of that, all the demigods suffered. So then all the demigods approach Brahma, and Brahma and demigods, they visit Vishnu. So when they visit Vishnu, they offer him prayers. They offer him prayers, and very beautiful prayers where they glorify Vishnu for his kindness. They tell Vishnu, hey, Lord Vishnu, you are in charge of mode of goodness. You're meant to maintain this universe. And we demigods are also in mode of goodness. But right now, because Indra, he made a mistake, we all lost our capacity to rule over the kingdoms. And we have all the demons are now ruling the whole world. Because after Indra got cursed, he lost in the battle, he lost all the resources. He was kicked out of Swarga. No more in Swarga. So all the demigods and Brahma, they approach Vishnu, please help us. Indra has been cursed because he offended the Durvasa Muni, and the whole world is in rapture. Things are upside down, it's all a world of materialism. Please, we need your help. And they offer these prayers and they ask, please, I know you are very kind. Although we hear in Bhagavad Gita, what do we hear in Bhagavad Gita? Samaho sarva bhuteshu name kaschit name priya. Name dveshasti name priya. Krishna says, I am equal to everybody. I do not envy anybody. I do not love anybody specifically. But bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maichateshu chapiham. But anybody who worships me, I am his friend. He is in me. I am dear to him. So these demigods, although they have made a mistake, they repented. So although we may have made mistakes in our life, we can always go back to Krishna and repent. Krishna, please forgive me. I made this mistake with devotees. I made this mistake with the holy name. I made this mistake with this or that, and ask for forgiveness. And when we do that, we get a response from Krishna in our heart, or through other devotees, or through books, or while chanting, or even from a stranger. He may speak to us about something amazing about Krishna, something which Krishna wants to tell us. Like we hear when Srila Prabhupada, when he was in the West, he was getting this heart disease, difficulties. So he went to visit a doctor. He was still in New York. The movement has not spread up much far. The doctor said, dear Swamiji, if I want to tell you something very important. If you want to keep your good health, you should walk every day. Srila Prabhupada took that instruction of the doctor to his heart. And from that day onwards, he walked every day. And thanks to the doctor's instruction of Srila Prabhupada, We have so many morning walks that Srila Prabhupada saved. We can listen to them all the time. Wonderful lectures, wonderful transcriptions. So much advice, so much nectar is there. Why? Because Prabhupada took an advice coming from a doctor. Doctor's not even a devotee. Just a normal doctor who walked in, not sure what his degrees were. He just said, Swamiji, you should walk. And he started walking. So when we approach repentfully and humbly, sincerely to Krishna, then Krishna responds. So Krishna here responded, Vishnu responded. Now what was Lord Vishnu's response? Let's hear that. Lord Vishnu gave 5 instructions to demigods. What are the 5 instructions? It begins with verse number 18. I'll just read the translations. Verse number 18. Okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Lord Brahma, O Lord Shiva, and other demigods, please hear me with great attention, for what I say will bring good fortune for all of you. This is very significant because in Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita also we hear, Sanjaya says, anybody who hears this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, he gets extreme benefit. And here Krishna himself saying, please hear what I say, because if you hear me carefully, you will have good fortune. So if you hear Bhagavad Gita, if you hear Krishna's message, if you hear Krishna's holy name, you get good fortune. As long as you're not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras, who are now being favored by time. O demigods, fulfilling one's own interest is so important that one may even have to make a truce with one's enemies. For the sake of one's self-interest, one has to act according to the logic of the snake and the mouse. What is this logic? One time a snake and mouse were caught in a small basket. Now snake could have eaten the mouse right away, but the snake said, no, let's have friendship. I don't want to kill you. Why don't we work together? Why don't we make a hole? The snake was thinking in his mind, once the mice makes a hole, I can get out and then I can eat him. That's the logic of snake and the mouse. Immediately endeavor to produce nectar, which a person who is about to die may drink to become immortal. O demigods, cast into the ocean of milk all kinds of vegetable, grass, creeper, and drugs. Then, with my help, making Mandra mountain the churning rod and Vasuki the rope of churning, churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Thus the demons will be engaged in labor, but you, the demigods, will gain the actual result, the nectar produced from the ocean. My dear demigods, with patience and peace, everything can be done. But if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. Therefore, whatever the demon asks, agree to their proposal. A poison known as Kalakuta will be generated from ocean of milk, but you should not fear it. And when various products are churned from the ocean, you should not be greedy for them or anxious to obtain them, nor should you be angry. These instructions are very, very deep, and we can discuss them a lot. Before I discuss them and share my realizations with them, I'm sure all of you heard it. Anybody would like to share the reflection on these instructions from Vishnu to Brahma and demigods? Especially those who have not yet spoken, they should speak or share something.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Jai, this requires thought. You just can't blurt it out, what you're thinking. But my takeaway is that text number 19, as long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras who are now being favored by time. It appears that they are being favored right now. A lot of who am I to say, that a person is a demon or not, but some of the personalities that are in the world right now, they're having those type of, personalities and what they do and what they say and how they're interacting with people. And People are starving and being hungry. There's war. So the demonic influence is live. So so you should not make a truce with demons because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing right now. I think that everything is in divine order, and it's supposed to be like this. And it also helps us be a better person or a better devotee. It makes us become more sincere and serious about this process of bhakti. So yeah, I'm not
Interesting.
going to say come on with it. Nope. I just, I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm not prepared. I'm not brave enough yet. But we're working on it, I
Yeah.
am just so very grateful as well that we have been given, this whole process is just so very, very wonderful. It's the best thing that could ever happen to you. You make you feel like you can just stand up in front of a demigod or a demon and say, yeah, I have knowledge of the holy name. I have knowledge of Krishna. I can become a Brahmin, and that's pretty wonderful. So devotional service is really very, very, very wonderful, very, very special. So that's my takeaway. Haribo, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I personally, thank you for sharing that, Sri Shri Mother. I personally want to take these instructions also along with the current age and time, which is for our current age and time. The process is chanting of the holy names. So how does these instructions apply to us, which are given by the Supreme Lord? First of all, the advice of Lord Vishnu's word that as long as we're not strong, we should make a truce with the demons and asuras. So we may have a lot of difficulties in our life, a lot of problems which are causing us, anxiety and difficulty in terms of our growth in our spiritual life. So as long as we're not strong enough, we should try to find a way that we can make a peace with them. Instead of spending so much time of mental energy and time in fighting with them. And what we should do, we should work with whatever resources we have and engage them in the Sankirtan Yagya, in the chanting of the holy name. When we do that, then not only we will be engaged, but also the other people who are, giving us difficulty, they also somehow will be inspired to participate. And how it should be done? It should be done with undiverted attention. And when we do that, what will happen? If we do everything with patience and peace, first thing will be, we'll get some poison. So when we're chanting the holy name, first thing what happens in our life is what? Poison comes out. All the anarthas start coming out. All kinds of stress, this, that thing. We chant the holy name for like 16 rounds and 32 rounds, and we come out and realize, I made this mistake, I made that mistake. And there's so many difficulties which bad thoughts, they start to come out. But after some time, if you work with patience and peace, then Krishna is saying, if you're not greedy or anxious to obtain this good or that good, then you will receive the nectar. You will receive the nectar of the holy name. So I feel in these instructions of Vishnu, they're applicable to any process, specifically the process of chanting of the holy names. Although the advice was given in regards to churning of the ocean, but it also applies to us in terms of churning our hearts and going deeper in a connection with the holy name. So the demigods, they followed this advice. When they did follow this advice, what was the result? After this, the poison came out. After the poison came the nectar, and after the nectar came out the difficulty. The demons, they were looking for opportunity. They always wanted this poison, this nectar. So they right away, because the demigods were weak, they went and grabbed it from the demigods, and they took it to themselves and were planning, oh, I will drink. So they were having this discussion. Now, demigods, of course, became very morose. But they remembered that Krishna had told them earlier, Lord Vishnu had told them earlier, that Lord Vishnu or Krishna will help them. So they again, when they were praying, were praying, and the next moment comes in an amazing incarnation of Vishnu. What is the incarnation? Mohini Murti. So in chapter 9 of 8 canto, thank you.
Apsara, right?
Chapter 9. What? So in chapter 9 of 8 canto, we hear
Kurma Avatar, Prabhu.
Thank you. the nectar has come. And after nectar has come, nectar has been snatched away by the demons. And now the demons are in possession of the nectar. At that time, Mohini Devi comes. This Mohini Murti is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So let's see how Prabhupada describes his incarnation. So Prabhupada writes, when the demons got possession of the container of nectar, an extraordinarily beautiful young woman appeared before them. All the demons became captivated by the young woman's beauty and became attached to her. Now, because the demons were fighting among themselves to possess the nectar, they selected this beautiful woman as a mediator to settle the quarrel. Taking advantage of their weakness in this regard, Mohini, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality Godhead, got the demons to promise that whatever decision she might give, they would not refuse to accept it. When the demons made this promise, the beautiful woman, Mohini Murti, had the demigods and demons sit in different lines so that she could distribute the nectar. She knew the demons were quite unfit to drink the nectar. Therefore, by cheating them, she distributed all the nectar to the demigods. When the demons saw this cheating of Mohini Murti, they remained silent. But one demon named Rahu dressed himself like a demigod and sat down in a line of demigods. He sat beside the sun and the moon. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead understood how Rahu was cheating, he immediately cut off demon's head, Rahu. Rahu, however, had already tasted the nectar, and therefore, although his head was severed, he remained alive. After the demigods finished drinking the nectar, the Supreme Personality of Godhead assumed his own form. So, that's how we hear how the how the birth of Rahu came, how the birth of Rahu happened in this Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear that Rahu had somehow or other figured out that Mohini Murti was cheating the demigod, the demons. So he had jumped around, gone to the other side, took on a garb of demigods, and sat between the sun and the moon, and was drinking the nectar. But the nectar had just reached his neck, and Lord Vishnu had sent his chakra and right away cut his throat. And because of that the birth of Rahu happened, and it said from that point onwards, since sun and moon were the ones who pointed to him, he developed an enmity towards sun and moon. So few times in a year, Rahu gets an opportunity to create difficulty in life of sun and moon. And that, they say, is the onset of eclipses, onset of the what's this?
Put a little bit of mustard,
and
put a
Chandragrahan.
little bit of tomato sauce.
So Surya Grahan and Chandra Grahan, that's how they say in the Bhagavatam, that's how they began. Now, when did this incident happen? So in my book, Big Bang and the Sages, I trace it down how we know this incident happened 540 million years ago. That is the date which we have based on the Bhagavatam, when this incident happened. Because in the Bhagavatam, it is said the churning of the ocean happened in Chakshusha Manvantara, which was between 250 to 800 million years ago. And then we also hear in Bhagavatam the incidents regarding the reign of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So when you add their reigns, then you're able to get a date for the churning of the ocean. Because churning of the ocean happens at the end of the rule of Prahlad Maharaj and the rule of Hiranyakashipu. So we know it roughly happened 540 million years ago. That is when the churning of the ocean happened. Now, up till a few years ago, when I published my book, Big Bang and the Sages, I actually came to also Cleveland and I gave a talk on this same subject matter. At that time, I had not discovered this thing regarding eclipses, but it was always in my back of my mind that if eclipses, we hear this incident of churning of the ocean happened 540 million years ago. Eclipses can't be there since the beginning of the earth, because according to modern scientists, earth has been moving around the sun for last 4.5 billion years, to be precise 4.567 billion years, and moon has been there practically since the beginning. So if moon is there since the beginning, if earth is there since the beginning, and sun is there since the beginning, there must have been eclipses also since the beginning, isn't it? So this is always a quandary for me. Like, how do we understand it? Because my understanding is that whatever Bhagavatam says is truth. And the scientists also, they're not always 100% truthful, but like they are always also approaching the truth. So they also, I don't accept them to be completely wrong. So how do we bring these two things together? So last year, it just occurred to me an idea. What was the idea? So I'm not sure if you understand, but the moon is actually locked to Earth's, you can say, what do you call? Equator. It is always rotating around Earth's equator. It's not that the moon previously used to rotate around the poles. No, moon has always rotated around Earth's equator. Why is that so? This is some physics equations that if a body, so the understanding is that the moon actually is formed from the Earth because they have their cores have very same metal ratios. Now, since they are bought from the same cores, and Earth is actually not really like you can say globe. Actually, it is oblated. It is actually thicker in its stomach side, just like men have big bellies. Like that, Earth also has a big belly. And as per the physics rules, if there's a body with a big belly and a moon comes out of such a body, the moon has to have been rotating around equator. So moon since its birth has always rotated around the Earth around its equator. Now try to understand this, that there is a sun, there is the Earth, and there's a moon rotating around the equator. Now if that's the case, there has to be eclipses from the beginning. But here comes a key point. So before I can explain you the key point, let me show you a slide. Let's show the slide here. So here comes the key point. This is known as obliquity. What is obliquity? Obliquity means what is the degree at which a body is rotating in regards to its pole. So if we see Earth rotates at a degree of 23 degrees. So Earth has an obliquity of 23 degrees. Its rotational axis compared to its pole is the degree between those two is 23 degrees. Let me show you one more diagram. So here you can see when Earth is rotating, although the Earth, the axis which is perpendicular to the revolution of the sun, it is 23 degrees off from that. And it is this obliquity which causes the seasons. Like when we have summer here, there is winter in the southern hemisphere because we are in another hemisphere. And when there's winter, when there's summer in the winter hemisphere, there is winter here. This is all because of obliquity of the Earth's axis. Do we follow this? Anybody have any questions here? Because I don't move any further. Because if I move any further, I may lose you.
Prabhu, it's 23 and a half degrees. Actually, the inclination of the Earth's axis is 23 and a half.
Thank you, Haripath Prabhu, for the correction. I appreciate it. But do we all understand this obliquity? Anybody has any questions? No, everybody got it. Very good. So
Haribo,
yes.
I don't get it.
Okay, very
I
good.
just want to understand obliquity again.
Okay, so obliquity is the degree at which Earth is tilted to its perpendicular revolutionary axis. So here you can see sun. So Earth is rotating around the sun, and Earth, its poles, if you see, they are at, you can say, 90 degrees, but Earth is rotating, like every day around another axis, and that axis is 23 degrees.
Okay. So there's a 23 degrees difference.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a YouTube video to explain it. I should have got a YouTube video this one. Earth obliquity. Because I think we need a demonstration on this one. Okay, I think that I found a video. I'll share it.
I'm Sam Jordan, Director of Humanitarian Action for the International Rescue Committee, Conflict and Constraints on Humanitarian Aid.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a very good one. Let me see. Let's see. This one explains it.
So obliquity means a tilt. Is that what we're saying? That Earth is
Yeah,
always tilted.
correct.
Okay. All righty.
You got it?
I got it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah,
Saved us
Yeah,
from
I
what
got
is
it. The Earth
yeah,
is always tilted.
Yes.
Okay, we're always tilted. Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Jai Haribo.
Okay, so the Earth is tilted. We got that
Mhm.
one. Thank you for sharing
Mhm.
that.
Thank you.
The Earth is tilted, and it is tilted at 23 degrees.
Okay.
Now, Uranus is tilted at 97 degrees. What does
Hmm.
that mean? That Uranus is practically, so Earth is actually like this, but Uranus is completely like this, and it's rotating like this while it's going around the revolution around the sun.
Hmm.
Do you follow?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, what happens is that they get extreme summer and extreme winter. Because one side is always facing, one side is always facing the sun when it's on this side, and the other side is always not facing the sun, practically.
Hmm.
So extreme changes in the weather. This is known as high obliquity. So high obliquity causes what? It can cause snow on the equator, because the equator is decided by the axis in which the rotation is happening. So it will cause
Mhm.
snow in the equator, and it will cause extreme changes in weather. And the
Okay.
scientists discovered that actually early Earth had same symptoms of high obliquity. That means
Hmm.
that means what? The Earth actually used to be not just 23 degrees, but much more tilted, more than 60 degrees. Here's a diagram of 54 degrees, but
Mm-hmm.
the understanding is that it was close to 80 degrees it was tilted at.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
So we're having a lot of differences in our weather right now.
correct.
Would that be because of the obliquity?
No, we're talking about extreme changes of weather. Not what
Extreme. Okay.
we're
All
talking
righty.
about is some, minuscule. Talking about extreme.
Okay.
Extreme means what? You go to India and there's
Okay.
ice caps in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
You go to
Okay.
like Colombia for a nice
Mm-hmm.
weather trip for a break, and you find that there's the polar ice caps there. You're like, what? I
Okay.
came to Colombia for a nice vacation, and there's ice
Mm.
cap here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Extreme. Jai.
Extreme weather it changes, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what they observed in the history of the early Earth.
Okay.
Now, mind you, if that's the case, it's known as high obliquity hypothesis. It's not yet confirmed yet. There's a couple of still roadblocks to it. There's a big group of researchers who propose this, that the Earth had high obliquity in its early period. Now, as I told you early, the moon is always locked to what? The equator. Now, if moon is locked to the equator, what happens then? If the moon is locked to the equator, then let's try to visualize here in our mind. The moon is locked to the equator, then moon and is always rotating around the equator. Moon will get never any opportunity to come in between sun and the earth.
Hmm.
Follow? So because moon is locked to the equator side, is not locked to is not perpendicular to the axis. So thus, up until so and just to complete the picture, but an amazing thing happened. Around 540 million years ago, scientists observed that Earth axis shifted, and this is a diagram which explains it, how it shifts or what happens, or a video. So as you can see here, in this diagram, this blue axis is the Earth perpendicular axis, and this red one is Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So the Earth is at highly oblique angle, and the Moon is rotating around like this. Since Moon is rotating like this, there is no chance the Moon can cast any shadow on the Earth. Moon can never come in between Sun or the Earth. That means there can never be any eclipses, neither solar or lunar eclipses. But around 540 million years ago, this changes. How it changes? Earth obliquity becomes the obliquity it has right now, which is around 23 degrees. And of course, moon has to also shift around a little bit. But when that happens, And this is, sorry, I'm going to stop here. It's changing a lot, but it becomes stable at about 5 degrees. Sorry, it becomes stable at 23 degrees. So now right now, so we started at Earth. Just look at the blue line. We started at Earth at about 80 degrees, obliquity, and right now it has come down to Earth at 23 degrees. Now, now the moon can get in between the sun and the Earth. So here's the sun and here's the Earth. Earlier, Earth was like this. The Earth axis was like this. So moon is always going like this. Moon can never cast any shadow on the Earth. But in 540 million years ago, Earth axis became like this. Now moon can come in between Earth and the sun. And according to the scientists, that happened somewhere around 540 million years ago when this obliquity shifted. So here comes the aha moment that although scientists have not looked into this stuff because they don't care about it so much about eclipses, but it provides support for our understanding, because we hear from the Bhagavatam, as we hear this Leela, that the eclipses were started because of Rahu and Ketu. And Rahu and Ketu got this enmity towards sun and the moon around 540 million years ago. So that is when the eclipses must have begun. And we also hear from the modern scientists that yes, around 550 million years ago, Earth obliquity shifted from being highly oblique to our current oblique position. And that's when moon could come in between sun and the Earth and start the eclipses.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I have a small question here, Prabhu. This is Ravi Shankar from Michigan, Siddha, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, I understand the Earth's polarity changes, which means that the obliquity continues to shift over a course of time, and the polarity itself changes at certain stage from the North Pole becomes South Pole, and South Pole becomes North Pole. So, which is a scientific phenomena that takes.
It's called polar wonder.
Yes. So, I mean, if I'm just going by my memory, I think that itself takes about 4.3 billion years, which is the life of the Earth around that time. I may be wrong on the timelines. I may be wrong. How long does it take to change the polarity? But I'm just going by my memory. I think that's how it takes. So, with the 540 million years ago, when this shift happened, so this is over as a whole a scientific phenomena that could shift every few billion years ago. After a few billion years, that the ice, the cold and hot will come, and one part of the Earth will become extremely hot weather. One part of the Earth can become extremely cold weather. So, isn't this a scientific phenomenon that is going to happen, and that goes along with the overall timelines for the timelines where we see the 4 yugas are going for, and then 540 million years ago is the shift that when you're saying that happens is the time when Prahlad Maharaj is there, but this phenomena can continuously change with the change of obliquity and polarity changes.
No. Obliquity only changed once since the beginning of the Earth. We can say since the starting of the Earth, it hasn't changed multiple times. What we're talking about is changing of the poles. That happens regularly, but changing of the pole does not change the beginning or the stopping of eclipses, because poles are depending on the core inside the Earth. If the core inside the Earth shifts, the north solar poles shift, but that does not affect Earth's obliquity in regards to Earth's rotation or revolution around the sun.
Okay, so polarity changes based on the way the fluid in the core is moving, not because of the shift in the obliquity, which could be I'm thinking as a continuous process. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, so that's only, so it's going to stationary remain as 23 or 23 and a half. Thank you.
Scientists don't really understand very well that what causes obliquity to happen, but it hasn't been recorded that there has been big changes in obliquity in the history they have looked at it. It's something still like a topic they're still understanding. Obliquity is very difficult in subject matter, but they don't have much evidence from any more obliquity changes apart from this big one. There are like small changes here and there, but this was a big one which happened where the high obliquity Earth became the current change to our current obliquity.
And this phenomena is same for every planet, like the whatever obliquity they currently have. Without, if there is no external force which is mm, enforced because of any such event as for Earth, it is going to remain in the same state as a circulate as an orbit. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Very good question, though. What's your name, Prabhu?
Prabhu, I'm Ravi Shankar, Raghav's dad.
Oh wow,
I'm from Troy, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else has any questions? Pati Pawanpur, you had raised your hand.
No, I was just applauding, Prabhu, that this is like really an aha moment. The way that you reconcile Bhagavatam with the scientific findings, like even when the yuga changes, you can see from the fossil remains like the layers of soil that drastically changes. That was where my interest sparked, and you had really did a lot of research and you reconcile a lot of things. This is another aha moment. Really appreciate for coming up with this.
Okay. Yeah. Now, a couple of things here I want to share. So so my current proposition here is from the scientific perspective is based on couple of uncertainties. So the Bhagavatam story is clear. There's no doubt about it. We know that this event Rahu Ketu happened at this point. Now, sometimes devotees claim that there is a Rahu planet and Ketu planet. We are not discussing whether the planet here is here or not. We're talking of a different aspect. We're talking about when it happened, not how it happens.
Okay.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his commentary in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he writes during describing the pastime of eclipse, because there's a whole chapter of eclipse where when Lord Chaitanya was born. When Lord Chaitanya is born, there's a whole big discussion. And so there, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that Rahu and Ketu are basically shadows. So there, he goes with the modern astrological explanation of Rahu and Ketu. He does not claim they are the Rahu and Ketu are the planets. Now, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was an expert in astrology and Bhagavatam. So, but at the same time, when it comes to our modern day astronomy, he accepts what we can see with our eyes. At the same time, he also accepts what Bhagavatam says. So these are two different truths, but they can work in parallel. So in one level, when you come home and you see there's an amazing cake, one thing is you can understand is your mother who made it. And other thing is to understand it is some chemical reactions that happened. They both have happened. It's not that there were no chemical reactions. There was a chemical reaction of soda and baking powder and the flour and the sugar and the oil and the fat. That happened. But there was also the mom. Similarly, there's Rahu and Ketu as persons that they were there. There's also Rahu and Ketu planet, and in higher dimension. But in our vision, this is the story, how it happened, how it transpired. And they both happened simultaneously. And what we're trying to show here is that Bhagavatam is giving us absolute truth. And the scientists and the empiricists, they're always trying to reach the truth. And sometimes when they are very fortunate, when they work very hard, they actually reach that truth. So the scientists in this understanding, they're not really figured this out yet, because eclipses is not something of big interest to them. But as I said earlier, this high obliquity Earth, that the Earth was at high obliquity, it is still a proposition which is being tested and challenged. If in future it comes out victorious, then we can say, hey, we were the first one who said this is how the Earth was. Also, another claim is that maybe Moon was earlier at a different angle, right? Right now we say Moon is at 90 degrees. Maybe Moon was at some other degrees earlier to the Earth. But again, these uncertainties about scientific theories does not make our case weaker, because our case is based on Bhagavatam. What we're trying to show here is that our presentation, our understanding of Bhagavatam is not mythology, it's not fable. Actually, it is solid truth. And as more and more research comes around, and as more and more empirical scientists find supporting truth in regards to Bhagavatam, they will start to appreciate and realize how we were always saying that Bhagavatam is what we should look for. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Dhamma Bhagavate Dharma Gyanadibhi Saha Kalo Nashtam Drishamesha Purano Arko Dhunodita. So sages were asked, now that Krishna has left this earth, now it's Kali Yuga, it's dark, how will we get knowledge? How will we get religion? For this current age and time, the light the knowledge, the source of knowledge is Srimad Bhagavatam. The source of dharma is Srimad Bhagavatam. So whenever we have any doubt about anything, we can get an answer from one book, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the opinion of the sages. So that is why that is what we have here in this understanding of eclipses. Anybody has any questions up to now? I have one more thing to share after this, but anybody has any questions, then we can take now on this scientific topic or presentation. Yes, Ravi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I might have missed it in your previous part of the lecture, but what is the scientific explanation that they're giving for the change of obliquity for Earth?
For the change of obliquity of Earth, there is a lot of different ideas. They don't. It's not. It's like, first of all, it's not an easy thing to understand because they can understand, polar wander, the movement of the polar, because the change of magnetic phases is recorded in the fossil, but changes in obliquity are much more difficult to understand because it can be because of impact of other meteors. It can be because of some shift in ocean movements or in the shifting of the what do you call, the tectonic plates. But it is something which I was looking into, but I couldn't find much that they have really figured out.
Okay, Prabhu. Is it possible from the or from the Bhagavatam perspective, because if the obliquity changed around the same time when the churning of the ocean happened, is it because of the churning itself, or is there any such reference from Bhagavatam angle?
I wouldn't be surprised. Bhagavatam doesn't talk about necessarily what do you call changes in Earth obliquity anywhere in this 8th canto. You can look it up yourself. 8th canto, chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 5 chapters. You can read them. And
yes, sure, Prabhu. Yeah.
Then there
yeah.
you can find that.
Yeah, Prabhu. I'll go back and see that. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very good questions, Ravi Prabhu. I'm glad you have this interest in this subject matter.
Just curious, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for all this information. I'm more interested in about the mother who made the cake. So my question is the Rahu and Ketu verses, is that chapter 8 also?
Say again. Rahu and Ketu what?
The Rahu and Ketu about the eclipse, the moon and the sun. Where can I find that? Where can I read that?
Yeah, 8 canto, chapter 9.
Chapter 9.
Okay, 8th canto, chapter 9.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We can read these verses. I plan to read these verses. I'm glad you're bringing it up. Okay, since nobody has any question, I want to go where the Purnamasi is taking us, which is what I was going to be my next discussion or in this talk. It's chapter 9, verses 25 onwards. These are the last few verses where we hear about the beginning of the eclipses as per the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam says, Chakrena Shuradharena Jahara Pibatasira Haristasyak Bandastu Sudaya Plavito Patat. Supreme Personality of God, Hari, using his disc, which was sharp like a razor, at once cut off Rahu's head. When Rahu's head was severed from his body, the body being untouched by the nectar could not survive. Rahu's head, however, being touched by the nectar, being immortal. Thus Lord Brahma accepted Rahu's head as one of the planets. Since Rahu is an eternal enemy of the moon and the sun, he always tried to attack them on the nights of the full moon and the dark moon. Text 27. Supreme Personality of Godhead is the best friend and well-wisher of the 3 worlds. Thus, when demigods are almost finished drinking the nectar, the Lord, in the presence of demons, disclosed his original form. So Lord showed his form. So we saw just here that Rahu and Ketu were born at this time. And the place, the time, and the cause and circumstances, the purpose, the activity, and the ambition were all the same for both the demigods and the demons. But the demigods achieved one result and the demons another. Because the demigods are always under the shelter of the dust of Lord's lotus feet, they could not very easily drink the nectar and get its result. The demons, however, not having sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, but unable to achieve the result they desire. in human society, there are various activities performed for protection of one's wealth and life by one's words, one's mind, and one's actions. But they're all performed for one's personal or extended sense gratification with reference to the body. All these activities are baffled because of being separate from devotional service. When the same activities are performed for satisfaction of the Lord, the beneficial results are distributed to everyone, just as water poured on the root of a tree is distributed throughout the entire tree. So, in this, that's practically the end of this chapter, where Sri Shukadeva Goswami is finishing up this discussion by saying that how the demons and demigods, they both have the same desire. They all wanted the nectar, but one of them prayed to Krishna, one of them prayed to Vishnu, and they received the benediction, they received the shelter. Now, Rahu, as you can see, signifies enmity, enviousness, and that is why he comes again and again to remind us that we have to seek shelter of Krishna. So eclipses are considered to be very inauspicious period for any kind of dharma, karma. You're not supposed to do any kind of, start a new work or work on some project for material purposes. Why? This is considered to be extremely inauspicious. But at the same time, it's considered extremely auspicious for chanting holy name. Because when Rahu comes, there's only one thing which can save us, and that is the Supreme Lord. Nobody else can protect us. Sometimes these days people want to have these eclipse goggles and look at the sun, let's go outside, have an eclipse party. They have so many different ideas. But if you look from the eye of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Rahu's coming is giving us a signal. Hey, a time has come in the time of nature that we have to seek extreme and complete shelter of Krishna. Just like demigods, we should feel helpless. We should feel humble and very humbly ask for Supreme Lord's shelter. We also hear this at the time of birth of Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya was born, there was an eclipse. Everybody was very much scared, and they all went into Ganga and they were chanting the holy names. Seeing this, the devotees become very extremely happy. They said, what? For the first time in a long time, we are hearing everybody chant the holy name, and they were extremely happy. So we can follow in those footsteps. So tomorrow is a big eclipse, and eclipse will be coming up in the future also. What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to take shelter of the holy name, following in the footsteps of Mahaprabhu's associates, following in the advice which is given in the Bhagavatam. And if we do that, then we receive protection from Rahu. And if we don't do that, we end up being like the demons who never get any nectar. So if any of you want a nectar, who here wants nectar? So what do we have to do? We have to take shelter of Mohini Devi. We have to take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have to take shelter of Krishna's holy names, which are the only shelter in this age. And if we do that, we will receive the nectar tomorrow or whenever we take it. So that's the end of my talk. Thank you, everybody. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Haribol. Hare Krishna. This is really auspicious because we're learning so much about eclipses. It seems like this particular year, there's more information, more, everyone is getting involved, whether they're doing it in a monetary gain or whatever, but it seems like everyone's participating. And look at the mercy. Look at the mercy. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
So, Prabhu, I have one other question. Were you here a few years back at the... That's you, right? Hare Krishna. Jai, welcome. It's been a long time. How have you been? Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes, Mati. He was at Haripad's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jai, Haribol.
Yeah. Siddha Hari Prabhu, tell us the title of your book. Is there just one book or there's more than one?
There's only one book. It's called Big Bang and the Sages.
Ah, what a cool
And that's the book that we're talking. Yeah, and I know that's available on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. But this eclipse research is not there because that book needs to be updated. I have a couple of more things I need to add, but I think I'll make a new edition, or like part 2.
Sure. Yeah. That's wonderful. Any other questions for Siddha Hari Prabhu? Now's your chance. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge.
Jai.
I have a comment. Thank you. I had the question about the book. It's you said Big Bang and the Sages, available on Amazon, and
Correct.
under your current name, which is Siddha Hari. It comes under Siddha Hari Das is the author.
It comes at my Karmi name, Siddharth Chabra.
Okay.
But
Okay. Thank you.
there's no other title, so you'll find my book. The title is quite unique. Nobody else has it.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Hare Krishna. I hope to
You're
see you
welcome.
here one day and give a lecture here, Prabhu. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. Hare
More Kirtan with all of you. I wish Srimal Prabhu too. I'm sure. I hope he's doing good.
Did you say Srinath?
Srimal
Oh,
Prabhu.
Srimal.
Srimala.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's
Srimala.
around here somewhere. So the other thing I wanted to remind everyone is that Akhilananda's daughter, Krishna, she's hosting a kirtan tomorrow for anyone that would like to chant the holy name. So that's in Hudson for anyone that's interested in going there and doing that. And then I also wanted to, while the devotees are chanting and chanting their rounds, to keep Jayapataka Maharaj in their thoughts, because I know he's having some health issues right now. So to please keep him in your prayers as well. Siddha Hari, are you a disciple of his also? Yes, I thought so. And Patita Pavana Prabhu and his wife,
Yes.
and I think that's it for our community. But and Deva Madhava, and his I'm not sure about his wife, but so anyway, just something to keep in mind. But if anyone would like to go to Krishna's event tomorrow, at the all of the information is on WhatsApp.
I wanted to add one more thing about Jayapataka Swami. They posted that he's not accepting any visitors, and I think the doctor might have asked him where does he want to go, and he said he wants to go to Vrindavan. I just said Haribol, Hare Krishna. That was just great. That made me feel so wonderful.
Actually, I want to add some more context to it. It's not that I want to add some more context to that that comment he made. It's not that he is envisioning that he's about to pass away from this world, and that's why I want to go to Vrindavan. No, that's not the case. Right now, he's organized. So every year after Gaur Purnima, he organizes a festival known as Safari.
Right.
In Safari, they go to different parts of India, holy places, and they take all the devotees with them, and they camp out there and visit small holy places, do kirtan, Sankirtan, and katha there. So this year, the Safari is in Vrindavan. And because of Safari, there are hundreds of devotees, or I would say thousands of devotees who are there in Vrindavan, who are waiting for his association. This year being special, what is he doing is that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had this desire that he wanted, wherever Mahaprabhu went, he wanted to establish a Padapitam. What's the Padapitam? The lotus footprints of Lord Chaitanya in those places. Because Lord Chaitanya is the one who basically reinvigorated, you can say, spiritual life in India. India was completely lost for a long time. So Mahaprabhu is the one who rediscovered Vrindavan. So he really wanted that in Vrindavan, whichever holy places Mahaprabhu went and discovered them, the lotus footprints of Lord Chaitanya be put, and so that common people can know about Lord Chaitanya. Because people don't know about Lord Chaitanya. If you go to India, hardly anybody knows about Lord Chaitanya. People know about Krishna, know about this and that. But if you know in this age, who is the Yuga avatar? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is the one who to take shelter of? Lord Chaitanya. Krishna is very far. He's not going to come close to us. It's full of problems, material problems. That is why we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaurvata Vrinda. Because it is Mahaprabhu who is going to take us. It's Krishna in his form of with the mood of Radharani, who is going to give us his mercy that we can approach Krishna. So His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he understands this, and he wants devotees to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya even when they go to Vrindavan. So he has, for the last many years, he's been talking with different temples and different authorities in all those temples that why don't we establish a footprint of Lord Chaitanya. So finally this year, he has been able to convince more than 20 different temples, not Gaudiya temples, not even like just normal Krishna temples, and authorities and magistrates and administrations, that we establish footprints of Lord Chaitanya. So in 20 different locations or so, they are establishing these lotus footprints of Lord Chaitanya. So at each of those places where Lord Chaitanya went, as per Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, they are having a big festival in Abhishek. So many dignitaries have come, like Janivas Prabhu and many other Swamis, Bhakti Deep Daman Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Narsinga Swami Maharaj, and many other Swamis have also come for this festival. And they are having every day a festival at one different location. It's supposed to be a 2-week long festival. So His Holiness Jayapataka Sai Maharaj, right after Gaur Purnima festival, where he gave like each day 3 lectures and gave initiations to another few hundreds, right after he took a flight and came to Vrindavan. His health was not great. He came to Vrindavan. He was in Vrindavan for like a day or two, and that's when his health became a little bad. So he went to Delhi, because in Delhi is his liver specialist, and there he told the liver specialist, as soon as he got a little better a couple of days ago, that I want to go back to Vrindavan. I want to join my team, because they're all expecting me.
Jai Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes,
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Still auspicious.
Yeah,
Hari Bol. Jai, that's wonderful. Isn't that just wonderful? That's ecstatic, you know?
Yeah.
Krishna arranges everything, though. You know, he's the best of planners. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
very much, Prabhu. Any other questions or comments?
Where is Prasadam?
Yeah, right. No, only we had virtual prasadam. No,
I hope I'm getting a package.
It's the one thing we're missing for sure.
So we please plan one more trip when we have it in person, so we'll have all the prasadam.
Yeah. Do you also meet in person, or is it every week online only? How does it work?
It's in person every week. Only we were expecting some traffic on the occasion of eclipse from different places, so we thought let's make it virtual. This
Oh, there's so much traffic, people coming to Michigan, or what?
no, to Cleveland, because that's in the solar eclipse path, right? So we were expecting traffic to be.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
So where we live was supposed to be very, very crowded, and right now it's a bust. There's no one there. No one around. And the whole city has been preparing, and so but yeah, no concerns. But we erred on the side of caution, but we're still glad that we were able to have your association. But yes, the invitation is definitely open to please come to Cleveland any Sunday that you may be available.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to have you and to listen to you again.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm happy, looking forward to the opportunity to do more Sankirtan with you all. And please come and visit us in Michigan. We'll look forward to seeing you all pretty soon.
Do you think, I don't know if you know, but our Rath Yatra is May 4th. So
May 4th?
Yes, if you have any availability
Okay,
to join.
I'll put in my schedule. That sounds exciting.
I think some devotees from there will be coming. So
that sounds exciting. Yay.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. I want to ask, this is just so wonderful. You kind of hated to stop. It's been so nourishing as well. Gee whiz, thank you so very much. But okay, I guess I just wait. We'll wait till we see you again. Hari Bol, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai.
So I leave now. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhu. We'll end. All right, Hare Krishna devotees, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Cleveland devotees. Keep up the good work.
Purnamasi and Madhavananda, when are you guys coming this way? Are you coming this year?
We'll be there for Rath Yatra. We're coming.
Oh, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.